Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV and welcome back to the Football Politics show. Back again from, well, I think February was the last time we did one. Here with Mr. B as my co-host today, and we decided to have a special guest on talk to come and have a chat with us for half an hour. Guys, Mr. B, how are you doing?
I'm good as always, man. Good. Thanks for the invite.
Hey, mate. Cheers for coming on, mate, and helping us out with this. Rise, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. I feel honoured to be in such esteemed company.
Why did
I? Honestly, quality, Mr. B, man, love you, man. You know that.
Oh, bless you, brother.
You know that. And Matt, I don't even need to say it.
Hey, thank you. Same back, mate. You know, one and the same, mate. One and the same. Well, shocking news coming out this week, obviously, about Lionel Messi. We will start with him and talk about the other two later on. Well, what is going on with La Liga? What is going on with the two biggest clubs in La Liga? Because obviously Real Madrid are going through something similar as well, but I think they haven't played it as badly as Barcelona. Lionel Messi is leaving the Catalan club after, I think, 22 or so years. It's amazing, right, Mr. B? I mean, like, I never thought this day would happen. We heard rumours last year that he might be going. You thought they sort of tied that all up and he was going to stay until the very end. But, well, things can happen, like, in football, can't they?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You think of all of the ways players leave clubs, and that was just a disaster from start to finish. They offered him, he offered half of his wages. Yeah, no problem. They said yes, and then they tell him that they can't afford it. I mean, I'm not sure the full background details, but from the outside, it just looks like they've spent a whole load of money that they didn't have, and it's now come back to bite them on the arse. Now, they were saying, maybe 2 years ago they should have got rid of. Can you imagine? This is really the only way that Messi could have left Barcelona. I'm looking at it like that, as in where it's now a La Liga issue. It's not the Barcelona board necessarily saying, Messi's got to go. Although that is what they're saying, but they can now spin it to say, well, they've capped the bar, whatever they've capped, but I mean, some of the wages that these people are on is incredible. Yeah. So, I mean,
700K, Mr. B. 700K for Griezmann, who's been a flop. I mean, how and they bought him as well, which is money on top of that. It's just mad, right?
700. Fuck, can you imagine? £700,000 a week. I'd work half a week. I'm just and I'm done. I work half a week and I'm done. It's injured. Incredible. Yeah, it's incredible, man. You reap what you sow. So let's hope that certain clubs have got their house a little bit better in order, because that, if it's happening to them too, that's got to be a wake up call to everybody else, that these figures that they want to be paying are just unsustainable.
Well, yeah, you look at it, Mr. B, and you look at it with Bale at Real Madrid and the money that he's on there. They probably need to sort that out at some point, because they definitely can't afford to keep hold of him. So the whole point is, I think there's been a cap from La Liga to the top two clubs anyway on wages, which I think it's got to be around 200 million euros, and they exceed that, like double, maybe treble that. So they've had to try and bring it down. And Aguero and Depay are not actually on their books at the moment, because they can't actually get them on, because they still got to bring it down. Even with Messi going, doesn't quite help them out over the line.
So, but hasn't Depay scored in his last 3 games? So how does that work? Is he not registered? Oh, good grief! Are you serious?
Anyone can play for anyone for a friendly. That's why we were talking about why are some of our players playing when they're on loan at somewhere else, and vice versa. You've seen it at other clubs. Like, I think it was at Tottenham as well. They had a few players that they've already sent out on loan. They were playing. So how can they, if they've already signed the loan deal?
Oh, wow.
So for the La Liga, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but at this moment in time, they're not officially on the books yet.
Good grief.
They've not been signed, so it's very, very difficult. Talk. What do you make of all that, mate?
Well, I'm kind of looking at this from a slightly different angle. Like, I think there is some serious politics going on here, because you look at this. I mean, Barca, they could have, if they really wanted to, they could have kept hold of Messi, things in time. And you're telling me that it's like, oh, they accidentally forgot to do certain bits of paperwork, and then it's like, oh, we didn't do it in time, and we've got to let Messi go, and loads of tears and boo hoo hoo. Nah, listen, there's something going on here, right? And I believe this is a push to either for FIFA and UEFA to put a worldwide cap on transfer fees and wages to make it like more sustainable, or probably even more so, this is a power play to go to push for this ESL, for the survival of Barca, Real Madrid, Inter, and whoever club decides to say that, look, this is unsustainable. We cannot keep paying 100 million plus on fees. We can't keep paying £1 million a week wages. But in order for us to not have to do that and not then be stifled by rich owners, i.e. Chelsea, Manchester City, who can just go, yeah, we'll pay you £2 million a week, mate, no problem. Right? It doesn't work. It just can't work. So this is where, for me, there's some serious politics going on. And I believe they are going to, Barcelona, along with Real Madrid, Inter, and maybe Man United and others, they are going to come back to this ESL and say, look, this is the way forward. Because if FIFA and UEFA do not step in here and say, look, no, we are now putting a cap on. You cannot pay more than X for a player, right? Or the only way you can pay more than X for a player is if over a proven period of 3 to 5 seasons of income, you could then maybe go over, but the payment must be stretched and staggered over a longer period, with clauses in to say, look, if this happens or that happens, this can be reduced and blah blah. But whether other clubs are going to fall for that and go for that, though, something's going to have to give, in my opinion. And I'm more inclined to lean towards FIFA and UEFA not growing a pair, flapping, battle it, and then just if say something out, if they do this again, if they push for this again, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, Inter Milan, and anyone else, then I believe they're going to do it, because they will say, right, listen, we are going to sell our rights of our games to DAZN, and that will bring in a massive amount of money. And I believe that's where it's going. And I think the next time we hear murmurs of the ESL, don't care what the fans do, the clubs, they seen what happened last time. They're going to be more than prepared, and they're going to be prepared for the Premier League. They will already have a response to the Premier League. In fact, when they come out and say, listen, we are going to do this ESL. This is our proposal to you. Don't be coming to us now with your threats to us. No, we're telling you how it's going to work. We're telling you how it's going to work. If you don't like it, it's tough. You sort it out. We're going. We are going for the survival of modern day football in its current guise, with, with inflation of football itself and economies and everything else, and the amount of money that are coming in from viewing rights. We are going with this because it will earn us 2, maybe 3 billion per season per club. And then what will happen then is, in the Super League itself, the clubs amongst themselves will keep their academy players. Yeah, they'll have their academies. They'll inject bare money into their academies, and then over a long. It'll take like probably, I don't know, maybe 5-10 years to get the academy product moving. poaching academy players from other clubs outside of the ESL, bringing them through, and it will be an internal swap market. It will be an internal market with each club where they go, right, well, yeah, look, I like the look at that player you've got there. All right, well, you know what? Yeah, it's going to cost this much, or we will swap in with this and we'll swap you with that, and blah blah. So they're not having to go outside of the ESL to pay some club a ridiculous amount of money, which by that time will be like 250 million, with wages expected of 1.5 or 2 million a week. Like, you're mental. It's crazy, mate. So I believe that this is where we're headed. Simple as that.
I don't think that will work though, because then what happens if people don't want to be? They don't want someone to be swapped. Like,
they don't,
are they just going to be staying there forever?
No, they'll sell, because this is what I'm saying, is for the benefit. You'll understand as a club owner when you go into the ESL about how it's going to work. You'll understand that, yeah, look, the reason why we're doing this is so that we can get away from this and we have full control of what's going on. So I buy your player, you know, they buy his player, blah blah, or you just bring your academy players through. Simple as that. And let everybody else do what they're doing outside of the ESL. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing outside of the ESL, because there's no other teams are in it. So we
will delve into the ESL another time. We will, because we are going a little bit off topic there, but that's another discussion for another time. That's a good shout. Maybe you can come on and talk about that with us. But how do you think Messi feels at the moment? I just wanted to. I'll ask you, Mr. B. I just wanted to put up. So, hang on one second. I'm going to put both of you on mute there a minute. Lionel Messi fought back tears as he began a press conference at which he confirmed he's leaving Barcelona, the football club where he has played his entire career. He was emotional before he even made an opening statement. These recent days, I've been given lots of thought about what I could say, and the truth is that I can't think of anything, Messi told news press conferences. Hundreds of fans, many wearing his jersey number 10, massed outside Barca's Camp Nou stadium to bid farewell to the player. And this goes large screen now. This is really difficult for me after so many years being here my entire life. I'm not ready for this. And honestly, last year, with all the nonsense, I was convinced I knew what I wanted to say, but this year is not the same. And my family and I were convinced I wanted to stay here. That's what we all wanted more than anything. We thought we'd be staying here in Barcelona. Today, I have to say goodbye to all of this, he said. We've always made this our home. We're at home, and we thought we'd be staying in Barcelona. So, guys, like, how do you think he feels? It seems like he didn't want to leave. And he's, like you said, Mr. B, just kind of been pushed out a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hang on, Mr. B first. Hang on.
Go on.
You'll get your turn.
He's been booted out. Let's be honest. He's been booted out. The director of football, whoever it was, the boss in charge now, he's gonna have that on his head for the rest of his life, because he's gonna be the person who kicked Messi out of Barca. I mean, family-wise, yeah, you can understand to a certain extent. I've only lived in my house, the house that I'm physically living in now, for 14 years. And if tomorrow somebody said to me, oh, you have to leave, you don't have a choice, then yeah, I'd be upset. But let's be honest, he's a footballer. Paris isn't a dump. He's not moving to, Northwest London. He's not moving to Margate. He'll be all right. He will be all right. So it's going to take him time to settle. I mean, everybody's saying PSG. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's the only club he can go to. So right now, his option is one, but I'm sure it's a very lucrative option. So I don't feel sorry for Messi. I'll be honest, I didn't even watch the press conference yesterday. I said, he's not coming to Man United. I have absolutely no interest. But it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame how it's ended. It really is a shame how it's ended there.
What was you going to say, Talk, then?
I mean, you can't. I've had people saying, blaming Messi and having X amount of wages. But at the end of the day, that ain't Messi's fault. That's the club's fault. If they can't afford him, let him sell him. You can't deny a player the right to go out and earn a great income from being the best player on the planet, right? So they've got to, that's their fault. This is nothing to do with Messi. This is not his problem. Why should he in my opinion, why should he like say, okay, well, I'm going to split, I'm going to sack my wages off half or even further to stay? He's the best player on the planet right now, and even still, even though he's 30 odd, he's still the best player on the planet. And for me, he deserves the right to be able to go out and earn this kind of money that they're offering, 35 million per season in wages, right? So that's what PSG are offering him. So that's like 70 million for the first 2 seasons, and then with a further year extended. So it's a lot of dough, you know what I mean? But to Barca,
$1 million a week.
Yeah, Barca have only got themselves to blame because they could have saw the danger. And this is, again, I know we're not talking about it right now, but we can't talk about this without mentioning it. Again, this is where you have to consider the fact of the either pushing for changes within UEFA and FIFA or the ESL push. They've seen this coming for months and maybe even a couple of years. The first time they went for the ESL, something smells wrong about all this, Matt. And I don't buy into the fact that it's just a case of bad timing and they didn't get things done in time. That's nonsense. That's the biggest load of nonsense I've heard in my life.
There's a thing going around as well in the media that they had a meeting, the director of Barcelona and whoever runs La Liga, and they said, look, what if we can't do this deal where you let us have Messi and we don't have the wage cap, what's going to happen? La Liga is going to be crapped. He's like, yeah, but you're going to have to just figure out a way to deal with it because we're not budging. And they left it too late, Barcelona. Now, literally, that's why it's come out recently because they're like, there's literally nothing we can do. They even said, like Messi said, I'll play for free. But you're not allowed to have someone on your books playing for free either. They have to be getting something. They can't afford it. Not even if it's £1, they still can't afford it because they still need to sell players.
They can't. I mean, it's all right, FIFA and UEFA saying, "Oh, you've got to sort it out yourselves." But it's totally crazy to say, that you can't. Like everybody, all the other clubs can really basically do what they like, around Europe.
Yeah, you're right, and look, RC Bayern's right as well. I think is La Liga's lost all in this surely, which it has, but I think it's doing it for the reasons talking about, is to try and minimize it and give more competition to the other teams because it is and it has been for a long time Barcelona and Real Madrid running away with it pretty much. But it's the thing.
Sorry, do you think there's a reason why that policy has changed then? Because for ages it was always Real Madrid, Barcelona got the majority of the TV rights money, and then they filtered it down to everybody else. What do you think the change is? Why do you think it's all suddenly changed?
I think because the Liga were almost preparing for this moment. They lost Ronaldo, views dipped. Do you know what I mean? Like shirt sales dipped on teams, interest dipped as well in the media, and they thought, well, at some point Messi is going to go. So we have to make the league more exciting when they both depart eventually, to make it more competitive. So then people will watch it. It's gonna hit a hard place at first, I believe. Yeah, because like people now are not as many people going to buy a Barcelona shirt, are they? Who are they going to have on the back? Depay or Dembele, who's been a bit of a flop. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to sell as much. They're not going to make as much money. The COVID situation they haven't even put into credit because of the fact that it's Barcelona. They've been flopping all their money around everywhere, haven't they? Buying flops for like 4 or 5 years.
There's only one obvious alternative here, Matt, then, which is what I've said. Create the Super League. You're then talking about a whole new brand.
Yeah, but then do the English teams, let's be honest, do the English teams need a Super League?
It's not whether they need it. It's not whether
they need us.
It's the owners. It's what the owners see as the future of football.
Yeah, but who's the owner? Who's the owner who owns the actual idea? Is the Barcelona president and the Madrid president in it together? Yeah. Because they're not making enough money in the Liga, and they're like, "Oh, we need a bailout. We need to make a Super League and get everybody involved, and then we can make our money, and we can have we won't have a wage cap because we're getting paid by these people to run this new league, like, which is our idea, and it'll be their rules, and it will just change football. And the whole reason why we're all Man United fans, which is great, we love the Champions League or the European Cup so much, is because of the history of what we've had to go through. And I feel like if we go against that, then we're going against the whole identity of our club, and that would be sour.
The thing is here, there's danger. Like, listen, like I just said, you've got they're there, they're on the verge. One of the most famous clubs in world football, Barcelona. Everybody knows Barcelona. They've lost their the biggest name in football over the last like however many years. So there's for me, it's quite clear what's going to happen here. You know, there's the Premier League itself is going to be looking at this right now and thinking, oh, wait a minute, what, you know, what's going on here? And when our clubs, they're going to say to the Premier League, listen, it's totally, this is now your call, right? You either accept that we are going into this ESL and we just stay as we are in the Premier League, and we just, instead of the Champions League, it's the European Super League, or if you don't, and you get rid of all these big names in the Premier League, are you going to be able to sustain that? Are they, as Sky and BT, are they going to be giving you the same kind of incomes? Are the other clubs going to get the same kind of income? No, they're not, because there won't be as much money coming in. So all the other clubs are going to go, oh shit, wait a minute, you're pulling the plug on us here as well. So then they're going to put the Premier League in an impossible position. And I think the Premier League were relieved last year when all this ESL collapsed. Well, sorry, whenever it was, I can't remember if it was this year, last year. When it collapsed, the Premier League would have gone like, whoa, fuck for that. You know what I mean? Because they didn't want to be in that position where they had to make that call to say, okay, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United, Man City, you're all out of the Premier League. They didn't want to do that because they'd be done up, they'd be fucked, mate. They'd be totally, and like I say, now when they've got the power now and they've made that decision, they will let the Premier League know. Before it all goes public, they will let the Premier League know this time around and say, look, we have spoken, we've gone back into it, we're doing it. It's now up to you. We don't care either way. You push us out of the Premier League, so what? We'll look at making our own little mini league, you know, and invite other clubs to join us in a mini league in the UK. We will find other ways of getting revenue by streaming our own. You won't have our games on your calendar. We'll create our own, or go with DAZN. Again, they can go with DAZN.
I know, but you should save this for another vlog because it's a very good talk on another subject. I do love what you're saying, and I'm getting involved in it. I'm like, we're going well off of Messi here, mate. Anyway, but you're right.
Messi, hold on. In terms of Messi being happy or unhappy, yeah, of course he's terribly unhappy. The player, he's been there since he was a kid. They helped him with his hormone treatment. They paid for it all. They helped him become the player that he was. So, of course, it's going to be really difficult for him. No doubt about it. It's not like he's just going to be like a few crocodile tears, pack up his bags and fuck off to Paris. No chance. Yeah, the money's there. But listen, he's already got shed loads of money anyway. It makes no difference to him, that. It makes no difference at all. His dad sorts all that out. Messi won't even be thinking about the money right now.
I think it kind of might do, because it's his only first ever move, and it's going to be harder the longer you wait. And pretty much every top player, like look at Ronaldo, for instance, has had that big money move. Like, and he hasn't even been bought by PSG, if it's going to be PSG. But what I wanted to ask you both, though, before we get onto the Kane and Grealish, mate, we'll shout out your socials in a minute as well. Just before you go, though. PSG, good fit for him, seeing as Mbappe and Neymar there. Do you think that sort of reels him in a little bit? Do you think he's disappointed in not going to Man City? Maybe.
I thought that Man City would have been the first destination, to be fair to him. But you know what? I think it's a bit of, again, I think there's a bit of playing, brinksmanship going on here. I think they're talking about all this, like, but PSG are just getting the final things together and blah blah blah. Bollocks. They're waiting. His dad and his Messi and his dad were waiting to see if Manchester City were gonna, go, no, you come to us. We'll give you 40 million a season for 3 years, with an option to extend through the Man City group. But I don't think it ever. Maybe they're talking about it right now because it still isn't confirmed yet. So who knows? But listen, I've got a chip because I've got to go. I've got to go over to Leicester till I die now. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Nice to
take it easy, man.
And I'll catch up with you in a
while.
Ciao.
Take care, mate. Ciao. So let's, I guess, Mr. B, let's just get straight on to the other news story, seeing as we talked for a good half an hour about that, which is pretty cool. What are you making, mate, of, and Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really wanted Jack Grealish, seeing him go to Man City for 100 million from Aston Villa. That was his release clause. Apparently they didn't want anything below. They said they would let him go. This is actually their owner that came out and said this, which is which is nice, isn't it? It's refreshing to hear them come out and say it to the fans, the reason why he left the club, mate. What do you make of this move and the money in it as well? Do you think he's worth 100 million?
To Man City, he's worth 100 million. If they win the Champions League, I mean, let's be honest, they haven't bought him to win the league. They bought him to win the Champions League. If they win the Champions League with Jack Grealish in the squad, he's going to be worth every penny. Is any player worth 100 million? I don't know. Manchester United paid 90 million for Pogba, so I can't sit here and say, oh, they shouldn't be spending that money. It's their money to spend. My thing is, did they need him? Where are they going to play him? This is what I'm looking at now. Where are they going to play him? I'm hearing they're talking about him playing centre mid. Superb. If he's going to be playing centre mid, then that's no problem. But it's going to be Pepsi's different things in players. So I'm really interested to see where he actually plays. The figure, fair play to Aston Villa for inserting that figure in his contract, because whether or not Grealish wanted to go, I mean, he might have wanted to come to Manchester United. We've got more heritage than Man City, but it might have been a thing where he didn't have a choice. They bid 100 million, like Messi to a certain extent, different scenario, but the choice wasn't Jack's. If they had bid 100 million, is he allowed to say no? He's not going?
I guess so, because it's your release clause, so you're buying it to be able to speak to the player. It gives you the right to say, right, okay, you can now talk about wages. You've released that clause. Anything you're allowed to speak to our player. He might still say, actually, no, I don't want to, and they can go, right, no, there's no deal. Like, they can do that.
Villa would have killed him. Villa would have killed him.
What if he'd have said,
no? Yeah, they've already spent that 100 million. They've already spent half of that money. They would have been fuming.
I think they knew, didn't you, Mr. B? Like, but by getting in, what's his name from Southampton, Danny Ings, and a few other.
What's the other one from? Who did they buy from Norwich? Who Arsenal wanted? Ben something or other. That guy. So I mean, they spent. I think they bought 3 players. They bought Leon Bailey as well. So they bought 3 players with the money. Yeah. They bought 3 players with the money. So even if they don't buy anybody else, they're already ahead of the cap. It's good business. It's really, really good business. And the fact that they got Danny Ings, they did remember when Man United bought Andy Cole? And nobody knew a thing, and we just woke up in the morning and Andy Cole had the press conference. Yeah, that's what they did with Danny Ings. Deals don't get done like that now. There was no inkling. There was no talking. You didn't see anything on any single social, even Sky. In the morning, it's like, oh, we're shocked to announce. Yeah, you're damn right you're shocked, because nobody tipped you off. That's how deals are supposed to be, you know what I mean? Quietly, there doesn't have to be plastered all over the place. Your club's still going to be happy with who you've signed. I just think it was absolutely brilliant the way that they did that. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
mate. I mean, look, that really does help out Aston Villa, I think. And it was inevitable. The guy wants to play Champions League. He's just played in the European final. Do you know what I mean? For England, he's had that taste of, like, world class football, and he wants to be a part of it. They're not in Europe, I think Villa fans were sort of saying, well, look, stay another year, get us into Europe. And he's just like, well, that's just another year. I'm 26. I'll be 27, nearly 28 by then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good one. But what do you think, mate, about, because this is a subject, isn't it? Which I should actually bring up the banner for it, mate. Harry Kane in limbo. What is going on there, mate? You know, he's been skipping training, isn't he? He stayed on holiday a little bit longer, apparently, and he's had a gentleman's agreement. I'm not sure whether that's that you can actually do that. You know what I mean? If it ain't written down in a contract, mate, like it's just not saying like take my word for it. I'll let you go. And then he goes no, and he goes, but we had an agreement, so no.
It's in the air. It's in the atmosphere. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Well, yeah. No, I was going to say, what do you think, mate? What do you think of this whole thing? Difficult for him and the club.
If he's got 3 years left on his contract, he doesn't have a choice. Levy has got a figure in his head that he wants, and if Man City don't pay it, if Man City don't pay it, he ain't going nowhere. So right now, Levy's got all the power. We've seen business deals with Levy as Man United fans, and he pushes a hard bargain. Gareth Bale to Spurs. Levy, once he sets his mind on a figure, he ain't budging.
Yeah.
Harry Kane has sulked. He sat on that plane in Florida and said, F it, I ain't coming back to that pisshole. He's now been forced to come back. They've got him holed up in the training ground complex like he's a prisoner. And now they're waiting for Nuno to talk to him this morning. So it's I don't feel sorry for him. He's sulking. He's effectively been on strike for 5 days, and his media PR are spinning it so that he wasn't on strike. It was a misunderstanding. They knew no, they didn't. They didn't. You don't have those misunderstandings. You as a club, this big corporate entity, you as the club captain and England captain, you've had a misunderstanding. He's thrown his toys out the pram, and they're not letting him go anywhere. I want to know what you think, though.
Bro, mate, he signed a 6-year contract, like very lengthy, seeing as you know that it was last season, I think, as well. So it wasn't like they were in like the best places, was it? Yeah, this gentleman's agreement and all this, I think like he's made a big boo-boo for saying that was an agreement between him and Levy. You can't do that if you ain't written it down in your contract. And everyone's saying to me as well about Son, like, you know, he signed a contract as well, hasn't he? They're like saying, well, you know, what happens if that happens to him? He's like, nah, because he's probably put a release clause in his contract, and he hasn't got that, Harry Kane. So he wants what he... No, he didn't put it in. This is why this is all going on, mate, because he can't get out of it. Man City can't. They have no release clause to buy and talk to the player. They're not going for what Daniel Levy wants for the player, which is, I think, around 150-60 million.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, he ain't joking. He's not joking.
It's a lot of money. I mean, I'm even hearing 200 million, but I think it'll be 150. I think if they hear 150, Man City slap that down the table, say we'll take him tomorrow. I think they'll listen up. But is he worth 150 million, Mr. B? He's injury prone, isn't he, as well? He is a great player, but he still gets injuries at the end of like every season for like a month or so, doesn't he?
A month, keeps him out for 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, you see, the thing is, Man City right now don't care, because I heard they've relaxed. For them to be able to spend 250 million on 2 players, I'm assuming FFP is no longer existent. This is what I'm thinking. It doesn't exist anymore. If it does, how can they afford to spend 250 on 2 players? I'm not going to sit here and I'm jealous of. No, if you've got the money, you've got the money. They can only play 11 players on the pitch anyway. Regardless of who they buy, they can only play 11 players. So keep Grealish, don't play him. He's going to be unhappy. You're going to have Sterling, who Grealish might take his place. He's going to be unhappy. They talk about players have so much money. It's not about the money. It's about ego. It's about pride. So you think Grealish is going to be, they're going to spend £100 million on Grealish for him to sit on the bench? Wherever Pep decides that he's playing for that money, he's playing. The person in that position, piss off. You're now a squad player. Regardless of if you started the win, you're now, that's already causing another ripple. You know, if City don't win something, that ripple then becomes something else. And I said, they've got their money. They're rich beyond their wildest. Their kids can spend whatever they want and they're fine. So it's not. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting watch. Man City are going to be thereabouts anyway. That's just how life is now. But they're spending that money for the Champions League. They want the Champions League. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, they do. They do. So look, they've printed the money, so it's all right.
I just guess with that, they haven't got the striker. And I think they really are dying for a striker. Now Aguero has kind of gone. He's a little bit in limbo at the moment. I know he's injured for 2 months as well. So that's not, yeah, he's out for 2 months. So Barcelona, it's just more sadness for them, unfortunately, especially for him. He wanted to go and play with Messi, and now he can't. I know, he's like, finally, I get to play with Messi or play with Argentina for years. We can maybe go and win La Liga, and then
they've killed him. Oh my God. So even question, sorry. I know it's like just Aguero. If they can't sign Aguero, could they technically not be able to sign him? And then he's a free agent, and then he doesn't have a club to go to? Or is it a thing where he's signed, he's guaranteed a place in the squad, it's just for Barcelona to, I don't know, to maybe lower all the wages to get him in? What is the situation with that?
Right. Well, yeah. Like, so what I'm hearing is he's obviously come to the club and they've obviously offered him a wage. But to meet the demand of the cap, they got to balance it out. So at the moment, probably his wages as well. He probably wants a good 400-500K a week. They can't really afford that. So trying to get rid of what they've been trying to do to try and get these players on the books so they can play in La Liga hasn't quite happened, because obviously this is happening now. Aguero's out for 2 months. They could actually say, no, we can't afford it. Sorry, Aguero. So he might actually end up nowhere. He might actually end up just being at home, not getting paid by anybody because he's out of contract, and it'll be too late to sign for anybody else.
And wow.
It could
those are the situations where I feel sorry for players. That whole situation, something like that happens where it's totally out of your control. Wow.
Can't do anything about it, mate. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. It's Barcelona's fault, mate. They were splashing out the wages. Big up, Amonde. How you doing, mate? Ticho's in the house. Amonde again. Big respect to talk. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes, Amonde. He has a question for us, Mr. B. Ticho. I have an interesting question for you guys. Is Asian football slowly getting stronger? They can sign young superstars, for example, Mateus Pereira, which brings revenue to the league. Well, this is interesting off the topic question. And how would I answer that?
Look,
yeah, go on, Mr. B. Go on.
No. I want you to go.
You. You know the answer, not me. You go first, man. You go first.
Okay. Pereira, that's the West Brom guy. 2 weeks ago, he was actually on, week and a half, he was actually on, there was they were saying whoever his West Brom manager was saying he was a disruptive influence in the training ground, and he came out and said he's not being disruptive, but he's been made an offer that at 25 will change his life forever. I assumed he was coming to a Premiership. I assumed he was going to a Premiership team, but now that they found out that obviously he's gone to, is it not Qatar, not Saudi Arabia? Could it be Qatar or Saudi Arabia? One of the leagues where he's gonna be the Lionel Messi of that league. So he's gone there to make dough, and it sounds like it's a lot of money. So West Brom, well, I think we're more peed off because he's going, and obviously it's something that, I mean, look, if it's going to change, he's got no allegiance here. It's a job. He sees it as a job. You know, wherever he's going, he's going to get more sunshine than here. He doesn't have to worry about it raining every day on his head. He's going to get a shed load of money, and then he becomes that superstar. I mean, in answering your question, TK, I'm not sure it's the start of anything. I just feel that he's been given the opportunity to go to the league to earn money. I mean, let's be honest, Pereira's going there. It's not going to make me watch the league. It won't make me watch the league. So if that's the start, then fair enough. But I can't see it being the start of anything major. I just feel that now he's over there, the team who have bought him will then become that dominant force in that particular league, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that Qatar or Saudi Arabia or any leagues in the Middle East are probably getting as big as the Far East. Like the Chinese league is obviously doing quite well, even though they spend a shitload of money on their players' wages, as well as we know. I mean, Fellaini's on something silly, isn't he? Like 600k a week or something stupid. You know, like, but the Japanese league looks good, and they don't actually pay out a hell of a lot on their wages compared to the Chinese league, and it is getting a lot of support, and there are quite a few players in the Japanese league. I know Iniesta went, I think it's Iniesta, yeah, that went and played in the Japanese league. So yeah, it is doing quite well in Asia, but I'm not sure about the Middle East yet. But I think with the Qatar World Cup, and like you said as well, having players like Pereira might boost their views around the world, hopefully. You know what I mean? Who else we got here? Rich Sports in the house. Everyone, please do smash the like, share, subscribe. Big up, Rich. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wherever the money is can attract players. Asian footy needs to be playing versus European teams more often, in my own opinion?
My honest opinion, yeah.
To make a huge improvement, e.g. a Club Footy World Cup, which is a good point. Maybe we should just quickly finish up on this then, Mr. B. Do you think that the World Club Cup should be a bigger occasion instead of having a Super League? Make that a little bit more interesting.
The problem with that is the big teams. I don't think there would be a surprise. You know, if Man United are playing, I don't know, Saudi Arabian All-Stars, it doesn't really fill us with anything. It would always have to be the bigger games. Because if you notice, they go into the European teams go into the World Club Cup, but they only go in at the semi-final. You know, they only have to play one game and then make the final. I think that's right. Whereas the rest of them are playing the 3 or the 4 to get to that level. So already they know that there's no point in having the European teams in the minor stages. Nobody's going to watch it. So I'm not sure how it would make or how it would benefit the bigger teams increasing it. It's just more football again. You know, I mean, all right, say it's money. You know, let's be honest. That's what it is. It's all about the money. So I don't think it would be a good idea, but I can see somebody out there pushing for that World Club Cup where they maybe go away for a week and a half or 2 weeks, play the game, get the whole tournament done, and, you know, they get X amount of money. They come back to the Prem and then they're behind in games. Bread and butter is the Prem. That's the bread and butter. Whatever they bring in to disrupt that, I have no interest in, man. I tell you, I have no interest in.
Yeah, I'm not really too bothered about the World Club Cup, mate. Not at all. Doesn't bother me at all. Hi.
Do you think it's because we haven't been in it for a little while, man?
Yeah, and we won it last time we were in it. And I remember that dreadful time that we gave up the FA Cup, mate. Was it back in 2000? All the boys were in Rio, do it on the Copacabana beach, Beckham and all that lot, kicking it up, and we gave up the FA Cup for that. I think we got knocked out by Palmeiras or something like that. Yeah, just it wasn't a good thing. It was a great holiday for them, but we were running behind, weren't we, on the Premier League as well? And we had to sort of
that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. I think if running behind in the Prem's hard anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what it did to us right at the end of the season, obviously with whatever happened and the games being back to back. But yeah, but games being backed up is hard, man. Games being backed up is hard.
Mr. B, do you want to read out the name of this gentleman here or lady, or it might be anyone?
Of course I can. Shit, you you're a son of a bitch.
Mate, I would love to be able to know how to say that. If you can do it in letters, just to let us know how to pronounce that would be amazing. And what language is that? Please let us know, because I'm very interested. I'd love to know how to pronounce that. Hi, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, hi.
Thank you for that.
I'm looking on the screen. I'm thinking, and it's high. I'm thinking, what the hell is that?
I wouldn't even know where to begin. What letter to start with? It reminds me of like Prince. When he had the sign, the symbol. He was just a symbol.
Yeah, he was just a squiggle. Oh! I mean, come on, that is incredible.
So yeah, Oscar is someone who plays in China, of course, isn't he?
Is he still there?
I believe so. Yeah. I think Rich said it actually. Where is the comment? Yeah, here we go. You can tell who just wants the cash. Oscar, anyone? Yeah, he from Chelsea. I think he was he must have been quite young, like at least in his mid-20s.
He was in his prime. He was. What they were saying was, I heard. I don't know if I was watching a documentary, but I heard some Brazilian footballers their mind isn't geared towards winning. It's about how much money they get paid. That's why a lot of them go to China. It's not about the prestige. Obviously, Neymar and certain players are on a different level, but a lot of them which is fair enough. You go in there, you sting it, you make as much money as you can, but imagine playing in the Prem. Can you imagine the idolization? You go to China and I don't know. It's
a bad feeling, isn't it? I wouldn't do it myself. I'd want to at least up till 30s in the Prem, and then if I feel like I'm getting a bit tired and I just want to go for a holiday and get paid, but I wouldn't do it in my prime, like not when I'm in the biggest league in the world at a club that is now winning Champions Leagues and probably will go on to win the Premier League. I reckon in the next 2 or 3 years, Chelsea, they're definitely on that way, aren't they?
Oh no, don't.
It hurts, doesn't it, mate, knowing that Chelsea are still contending and we're still trying to get up to where Man City are. And they probably are the team that are probably closest to Man City than we are. But do you think?
I'm allowed to say that on your show. Hopefully nobody won't clip it. But yeah, I think they are. I think they are slightly ahead of us. In all fairness, I think we're third favourites. To be honest, I think we're third favourites. I would take third favourites at the moment.
Edmundo and Romario performed open heart surgery on us. That was during the World Club Cup in 2000. Yeah.
This Monday. Yeah, I want to tell you the truth. This guy's football memory is like an insight. He doesn't forget nothing. I don't remember nothing, and Monday doesn't forget nothing. It's just Monday, Romario. I mean, why would you remember that? Why would you have that in your to just be able to put? I don't even remember who we played. I don't even remember what year we played. You're coming out with 2000. I wish I was like you guys, man. My memory is so trash.
Mine's bad as well. But sometimes when someone reminds you, then you start coming up with all this other stuff. You're like, that was in there as well. I remember this and that. It all just flows off the tongue when someone brings it up. Rich says, oh, yeah, Ramirez as well might be in China as well. See, there's another player who won Champions League with Chelsea, who sold their souls.
Maybe it's a Chelsea thing. Maybe it's just a Chelsea thing.
Hey, I love this comment. What is the channel about? Football? Yeah, I'm afraid so. If you don't like football, though, thank you for tuning in. Please do smash the subscribe button. And thank you for your comments. Please let us know how to pronounce your name, because that's very interesting. And I'm not even going to try and predict what language that is either. Say like Mandarin or something like that, maybe.
I don't know.
Hope I'm right.
I don't know.
Can I ask some question about football? Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left. You can ask us anything you want. Go for it.
Okay, talking superstar. Now you're on. You tell us how to say that name, then Smarty Pants. He's all copied it in and everything. Come on, talk.
Yeah, I want to know what. Find out. Google it. I want to know what it means. If it comes up with an image, please don't share it with us. It might be naughty. It might be a naughty thing. You never know. It could be. So what's going on there, Mr. B? To end it off, mate. What's happening on the Man United agenda? How are things going there? And
the Man United, we're kicking off. We're doing all right. It's getting there. It's getting there. I just want the season to start. I really, really just want the season to start. I'm excited. The crew there, Bossman Solo, Munzi, Amundi, Big Phil, OS, Maisie, Amy, Talk MU. It's a big community. Not forgetting you, it's right side, not this side, that side. This, how does that work?
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like,
not forgetting you. Yeah, we're one big family. We're one big happy family at the moment. So looking forward to the start of the season. We've got a couple of things planned, couple of shows in the pipeline. Yeah, studs up in a couple of minutes. MU agenda. We've got our quiz show on the Thursday. We should have a little special on Friday. Hope to see you on there, Matt. We'll talk to you about that in a little bit anyway. But yeah, it's going well. It's going well, man. MU agenda is now a big part of my life, man. So yeah.
Good, man. I love the show. It's turned into my favorite Man United channel, and I've said that to Solo. Like WhatsApps, everything, mate. I'm like, it is like I listen to it at work. That's why I always listen it. To be fair, though, mate, most of the time I listen to it while I'm at work, the next morning or whatever. Like while I'm doing my stuff.
As long as we get that, mate, it's not an issue. As long as we get that, it's not an issue, man. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's when I most enjoy it, mate. You know, when you're at work, you just want to. You're like, well, I'm here. I'm doing what I'm doing. It's crap. Anyway. Yeah. Sometimes I get a shout out. I feel like I'm famous. You know, Matt. Yes. YouTube. What was I going to say here quickly, mate, just to end up? He did actually give us a name. Hyu Yun So. I hope I pronounced that right. I tried. Hyu Yun So. Mr. B looks like Martial.
Thank you very much. Oh, big Phil, you're winding me up, you are. Because Martial's had his haircut.
Has he gone bald then?
Yeah, he's gone bald, man. He's gone bald, man.
Oh, right.
Actually, do you know what? Do I look like Martial if I don't smile?
He's always smiling, Martial, isn't he? He's always smiling.
Always smiling. In his heart.
It's always a smirky smile, though. It's never showing teeth. It's always like a friend.
Doesn't need to. It won't.
So, just to quickly finish up, I'll read the comments out and then we'll shout out your socials. Even though we just pretty much did, I'm pretty sure everyone knows where to find you, but we'll do it again. I'm from South Korea. Big up South Korea. Big up Seoul as well. Love the city. What do you think about Son in Tottenham? He's also from Korea. Is he a world class? He is world class to me, Mr. B.
Top draw. Can't argue with Son. Top draw player, mate.
He wouldn't be without Kane, and Kane wouldn't be without him. It's sort of like that love affair, isn't it? Them two, like, Yeah, agree, mate. He is world class. Not as good as Ji-sung Park from South Korea, might I add, though. He's the best South Korea football player.
Ah, lovely. I like that one.
There you go, Mr. Gillette. You know, when your face is all over Korea, sponsored by Gillette. Do you know what I mean? And you're up there with like people like Messi, Ronaldo, all them lot, and Ji-sung Park is one of those people as well. Big time. Only him, mate. It was Tiger Woods and Ji-sung Park, like who were at the time, the same time, the Gillette men. I mean, come on, like guy was.
How much razors do you think they sold, huh?
Quite a few, mate. Quite a few. I see him washing up on the shores every day, mate. You know what I mean? It's a disaster. Too many blades out there, man. Too many blades. Too many people just buying them, going, sod it. It's their faces. I want to buy more and more. Big up Phil. Barbados MUFC. None one on Spurs is world class.
No one at Spurs is world class.
Big up Status, Football United TV in the panel. Big up, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone, press the subscribe, share, like button. We are going to finish up right now. Just reading out a few more. Jack Grealish is Poundland Griezmann with a Harrods price tag. Pep has lost the plot. Wow. Why did you leave that statement till the very end? Why did you do that? Because I could have gone in on that one. I think he's much better than Griezmann. I really do. Griezmann was okay, but he is all about the clout. Look what he did to Man United when he could have come to us, and he was just being an absolute arsehole. Sorry, Griezmann, but you were. And I'm not asking for 700k to join Barcelona as well, coming from another La Liga side. Shame on you, Sherman. Shame on you. Yes, that it. Okay, hi, Stu. Talking, you calm down. Son is a top player, but not world class. And last but not least, thank you for your answer. I can't speak English very well, thanks, but you can write it very well. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. Please smash the subscribe button. Mr. B, thank you so much for joining this time. Hopefully,
no problem, man.
Again, because it's good to talk, like, you know, off the field stuff. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Mr. B Online. You can find me on the MU Agenda every day.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you so much for joining us, man, as well.
No problem, man. Thank you for the invite, man. Anytime.
No worries. And everybody that's just tuning in a little late, smash the like, smash the subscribe if you can. Big up to Charlie as well. We'll see you again tomorrow because Charlie's got the Gunners from All Corners at 7 o'clock. And then that goes to a Friday after that. So Fridays for now on. Thank you for subscribing there, mate, from South Korea. Thank you so much. One love to you. And yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Mr. B, thank you so much as well.
Thank you.
Until tomorrow, all you crazy gooners, see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.